Our next guest on the Any Given Runday podcast is certified sports scientist, a marathon runner and triathlete. After seeing the impact of Coolock Running Club and running his first double marathon in a 3:03, he set up Swords Running Club last December with his friend Mark Campbell, who we know nothing about, and has just decided to jump on Gatecrash this podcast, the first time it's ever happened. But since then, they've grown up to having over 60 members to the Dublin Half Marathon a couple of months ago. And Carl also completed a 70.3 Ironman Valencia a few weeks after that. Did Mark? Don't know. We'll find out. Lads, welcome to this week's episode of the Any Given Runday podcast. How are you getting on?
Good, lads. Thank you very much for having us.
Thanks for having us, lads.
Mark, do you sleep over the whole time as well, or what way does it work?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Does your mum know where you are?
He doesn't feed me, so I have to come up here and get fed.
I have to come over here.
We all have a friend that just lingers around like a bad smell.
Like a bad smell. Mark,
Yeah.
well, you're both very welcome, and it's great to see you're both wearing the Swords Running Club t-shirts. It's been a great journey, but the journey obviously started well before this for the two of you. One of you can start. Mark, we know nothing about you, except you're a bum who comes around all the time. How did you two get into running? How did you get into sport?
Well, myself, I grew up playing football, Gaelic. And then I suppose I stopped playing and the weight came on, like everything else. So I just kind of had said to myself, I need to do something. So it was after actually the Dublin Marathon last year. We were in the pub and we were messing, the two of us, and we said, so when are we going to start this running club? And I'd only gone back into running myself. So we messed about it. We were expecting about 15 to 20 lads to show up, and geez, it just took off. It was something just unexpected, to be honest with you. For over 200 members now.
Wow.
So it's just, I don't know sometimes how to put it into words, you know?
It's scary what you can start in a pub, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's when you think of it, you have a few beers and all of a sudden, yeah, we could do that, couldn't we? And then you start it, and then all of a sudden this podcast is the love child of a few beers. And it was like, sure, we should do that. And then you find the following, and then all of a sudden you're like, we can't stop now. You're like a hamster on the wheels. Like, all these people showed up. Now we actually have to do it. What was that experience, I suppose? Mark, I'm going to stick with you for a minute before we get Carl in, because obviously you've said playing football, put on a bit of weight, got into running, and then we're starting a run club. A lot of people feel, even to just join a run club, I need to be an athlete. You know, I need to be able to run X amount of kilometers, and I need to be able to do this to be a part of a run club, let alone set one up. How was it? And I'm going to say, because a lot of people don't call themselves runners. Are you a runner? And they're like, geez, no. And they've done 10 marathons. They're like, no, I'm not. Setting up a club as a new to runner is brave. How did it feel for you navigating it while learning? I'm going to say learning how to run, because it's so different.
Yeah, look, I suppose I got into running a few years ago, and then I kind of stopped that with work and stuff like that. Kind of got a bit lazy. That's when the weight and all stuff started. But I think as well, my aspect to it was, you look at other run clubs and the leaders are generally lads that are running marathons, and I wanted it to make it a bit more appealing as well to people, so they can look and say, they could use me as an example. Like, I never expected to get where I am at this moment, down over 3 stone since I started running, and I've reached goals myself in running, which I didn't think would be possible. But it's just, I wanted people to look at me and kind of use me as an example or a guide, I suppose, to get them out running. And I think it's kind of worked as well, which is another positive in the area.
It definitely does. And in terms of that, I'm not saying it's because you show up and you see someone, they've got the 8-pack, the Nike, God knows what flavor they're wearing on their feet now. And it's like, I'm never keeping up with that. I'm not doing this. That's a different league. But when you see people, let's be honest, when people who are getting into a run club or a coffee run club or even an athletics club, it's nice to see people and go, do you know what? I am around that level. That's acceptable. So if the leaders of the group are around my level, it's an entry into something. It's something I feel a hell of a lot more comfortable with. And then that brings us over then to Carl. What was your involvement other than letting Mark sleep over in your house the whole time?
He still does. That's the same tonight. I suppose my whole thing, like, last year I done my own running challenge, and I done it with 4PA the house, got a lot of traction on it, and straight after, one of my mates up in Killock Running Club, Keith McCann, better shout his name or I'll give out. He brought
owes us
me
€1 million now for the advertisement, but anyway.
he brought me up to Killock, and they have a brilliant setup there. Like, Jer and Chucky have made something brilliant. I was there for months, trained for the marathon, and saw the real impact that had, not just on the runners there, like it became a community family, but then the impact that had on Swords, or not on Swords, on Coolock as a whole. And for me, I always had the ideas like Swords need something like that as well, like a different social aspect for people can come, whether they're feeling lonely, fucking meet new people, they're struggling with their mental health, and that's where there's always an idea of mine as well. Like, people said it to me during my running challenge that I would have done last year, would you ever do something? And then, like Mark said, we joked about it for a while, and then I think it's just one random Wednesday I was up in Coolock doing me run with the club, and Mark just texted me, it's like, what do you reckon, will we just give this a go? And I was like, right, let's go. Set up the group chat. As we said, we added like the 20 lad mates who we'd go out together, thinking just be a nice lads thing. We'll start off small, see how we go from there. And then I think the first run was 19th of December. So we're like, we get run one in before Christmas, before we have all the grub, do whatever we do over Christmas. And got about 25, 30 people down. And big thing for me was being able to get my dad back involved, because, yeah, my dad wasn't able to run for years. Doctor told him he shouldn't be running anymore. And me being able to get him up to the club, having him down 25 kilos, he's gone 60, and he's after doing his half marathon there back in December with us as well. And like, stuff like that just makes me realise why we set it up. Like, again, we want to cater for everyone. We want to cater for people who've never run before, to lads who are looking to push for 240 marathons, 245, and that's what we love about it. Like, it literally is there for everyone. And like, Swords is such a big footfall area. Like, it's a massive part of North County Dublin, and the fact that it never really had a running club the last few years, we're like, why? I was like, it's very strange. Like, you look at all the areas now, like Ballymun, Coolock, all the different areas have a club, and we always wonder, like, why is there none in Swords? And like, it's almost like an Irish thing where it's like, we'll let someone else sort that out. And then eventually we're like, nah. I was like, someone has to do it, so may as well be us.
Before we get into more about Swords Running Club, what was the running challenge you did?
So I struggled a lot with my mental health for a fair few years, and I bottled stuff up. Like, I got very deep for a long while, and I was going through a very difficult patch, and just random Friday, I went out, and I was 12k in, and I rang me dad, and I was like, I'm going to run a marathon tonight. And I done no training. I was just stuck in my headspace, and that day I just felt great because I was running. I was away from social media. I was away from my problems, and went out.
Away from Mark.
Yeah.
I want those electric scooters.
And yeah, so I literally got back. I'd done the 42k. Now my body was in bits for days, as to be expected. You didn't train for it, and then I just got the idea. I was like, right, how can I turn this into something positive? So I set out for May last year, around 500 kilometers across the month of May, doing it for PA the house, and sharing my own story online. I remember the first post that I put up about my struggles, suicide ideation, and chatted through. And I remember I sat in the car in my driveway for about an hour straight, bawling my eyes out. I was like, what am I after doing? What am I after sharing online? Thinking I'd made the biggest mistake in the world, and to be honest, it's the best decision I've ever made in my life. Like, the mates I've made from it, like, I actually barely knew Mark last year. Kind of wish I still didn't know. It's like the friendships I made from it. Like, every day I had a different mate offering to come out and run with me. Different lads in swords who you sort of know to see, but aren't friends with, offering to come out. So I had someone running with me every day, chatting, talking through their struggles, and it was unbelievable. Like, and then being able to do it for a cause as well, like being able to raise money, give back, is brilliant. And then finished off the challenges the last day. 30 of the lads all said they'll come along. We'll finish a 5K on the beach together, and it's brilliant. So like, what was a low moment turned into such a high, and being able to give back, and then that's what led me to going to Coolock, because I was like, right, I'm in running now. I'm sorry. Like it's a cult. Running is a cult. Like, once you're in, there's no leaving. And then I wanted to be able to jump into a community then where like-minded people, and like, because I enjoy running on my own sometimes, but like doing that challenge made me realize it's so much better being able to run with others and chat while you're doing it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I remember doing a course years and years ago, and people were trying to explain that moment that you described of that first posting, and it comes down to kind of the mental health and suicide and stuff. And it was in a room, they kind of get everyone to be like, okay, I want you to think of a happy moment, something you're proud of, this, that. And it's like, okay, someone put up your hands and tell me. And you can see 10, 12 people who aren't shy are like, oh, I'll say this. And then they reverse it. It was like, I want you to think of the worst thing you've ever thought of, the worst thing you've ever thought about doing, you've ever done, the absolute worst. You wouldn't tell your mom, you're embarrassed by it. Now I want you to stand up and tell everyone. And all of a sudden, everyone was like, oh no. But when they talk about mental health and men's mental health, when we go, or people go through those kind of things you talk about, what you've done is stand up in front of thousands, I don't know your followership, but essentially a room of people, and said, I've done this. And everyone's like, what? I didn't know that. You know, and it is that moment. And that's, I think, what people don't understand of what that feeling is. When people are like, why didn't they say anything? Why didn't they do this? It's like, well, that's what it felt like. It felt like I was at a Coldplay concert, not dancing with someone I shouldn't have been, but standing up and going, this is the worst thing I've ever done. And then just dropping the mic and letting the crowd judge it. That's what it feels like. Maybe it didn't for you, but it sounds like when you describe that story, and it's such a brave step. And a lot of guys will probably say, oh, well, that's attention seeking. Oh, that's that. And he's just looking for it. When in actual fact, it's the hardest step in dealing with mental health. And no different to, as Mark said, with being someone that people can look at and go, yeah, do you know what? I'm there too. I can do that too, which is absolutely massive. It's so brave. It's so everything. And we don't, sorry if we're talking you up now, you're blushing, but it is something,
No, it is.
it is something that is so brave. What was the impact of saying it? And I do want to touch it, because everyone talks about mental health, but no one dives into the weed. What was I know you ended up, Mark, holding your pocket now for the last year, but apart from Mark, what was the positives of saying it, and what was the initial kind of feedback from it?
My initial thoughts were exactly as you said, firstly. People are going to think I'm attention seeking, or I always want, like, I always like cared so much about what others thought. And I was like, Jesus. Like, I'd never post stuff, even like just a regular post, out of fear of what people think. And like, that was why it's such a big decision. Like, it took me ages to build myself up to do it. It's one of those, like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do the post tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I was like, well, Carol, May is starting tomorrow, so you might want to do it today. So that's what brought it on. And that, I remember after, like, I'd literally sat in the car, I threw the phone in the back seat, bawled my eyes out. I refused to pick my phone up. I literally shit myself. Like, what am I doing? And then I picked up my phone, and floods of messages of lads you haven't talked in months, years, texting you, resharing on their own story about what big impact it is. Like, having multiple lads talk about they've been through the exact same stuff I was talking about in the post, but they're always afraid to speak up on it to others. So I suppose what made me feel good is like trying to be that voice for the voiceless, if that makes sense. Where it's like, again, someone has to eventually step up. And I know it's great. It's changed now, I think, like men's mental health, and lads are more open to talking about it, and it's brilliant to see. But for me, I wanted to sort of like be that person. I was like, right, step into the uncomfortable zone. I was like, you don't grow in the comfort zone. So I was like, just try something different, see what comes from it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, at least you tried, and it worked wonders, to be honest. Like, because for me, like, I tried everything, went to counselors, spoke to my mum and dad about everything. But for me, what worked was running, and it always is. I was like, these people always just tell me now your personality is just running. I was like, I suppose it is.
Had you talked to anyone before you sent that post? This is what I'm going to do.
No. I remember I spoke to one of the lads who I knew was big into running, and I was trying to figure out how many kilometres to do across the month. And I told him, I was like, look, I've only done a few runs the last few months. Like, I went out, done that long run on the Friday, the 5Ks, and the last 2 months before it. And I was trying to figure out, I was like, do you reckon 500k across the month's feasible? And the other thing, I was reading David Goggins' book at the time, so I had that.
That's why it wasn't 100. That's why it was 500.
It was going to carry the boast mentality in my head. And I think I said to my mom, I was like, I'm going to do the challenge for PA the house. But I didn't tell them exactly that I was going to share my own story. And then, so I just grew legs as I went along. Like, I remember one of my mates, Danny, he was always helping me throughout. He's like, because he's big into the creative side. So he's like, oh, you should do this. So I was like, remember one of the days, because it's like 20k each day. When we had an idea one of the days, he was like, right, we'll get a 20 kilo vest. After each run, you'll take 1 kilo out as a sign of weight being lifted off the chest, if that makes sense. And it's sort of like just different ideas like that started coming up as I was going along. But I've gone way off topic to what you.
No, you're dead on. You're dead on. Keep going.
Yeah,
Mark fell asleep, but it's all right. Keep going.
I've been listening to him all weekend.
different ideas like that kept coming up throughout it, which is brilliant. Because it's again, each day it's like, right, how can you do a bit differently to gain a bit more traction? Again, more so for raising the awareness and attention to it. But no, the only other person I spoke to was to figure out, do you reckon 400 kilometers, 500? Sorry, it started as 400, then we upped it to 500.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
He says, I reckon you can, it'll be tough. And then it was only after I'd done the post, he's like, Jesus, but I didn't realise that's why you're doing it. He thought I was just doing it for
Just picking a challenge. Yeah.
So, no, like, it's one of those, like, I saw it, even though I was doing a post, I was still afraid to tell people before I done it.
That's a hell of a thing for 500 kilometers in 1 month. At any stage during that, did you think, shit, I'm after biting off more than chew, I'm after putting this post up, all these messages and stuff. I know you're thinking every day is something new, but was there any stage during that month you're like, the body's not feeling it today, I don't know how we'll get out there for 20k? Like that must have happened at some stage.
I think what benefited me the first 5 days, like, remember the first day I went out, I done 20k in the morning, went to work, came back and done 10k in the evening. So I built up a lot of kilometers the first week. Now the body didn't thank me for it. Blisters everywhere on the feet at the start. So that was tough, but then it was, I think, day 10 or 12. Do you know when, like, you're getting to the midway point, but you're still so far away? I was like, oh, this is getting tough. But what kept me going was what I was touching on earlier. Each day there was a new lad, new mate to come out and run with. So it was almost like, great, like, this fella coming out running with me, we'd be able to chat. It wasn't just a case of you're running by yourself every day. Now, I had the odd few runs by myself and they were tough, and you're trying to find whatever music can uplift you. You need Metallica on full volume on some days. But no, like, it was just the thought of having people every day push me on that allowed me to be like, nah, it's actually not too bad.
Mark, I just want to bring you in on this, because mental health brings itself in many different forms, shape, and everything. When you went through putting on weight, losing weight, putting on weight, that obviously has an effect on you. And I just want to ask, when you got into running, obviously you've lost a lot of weight and stuff. Now, what has running done for you, and in terms of the impact and how you feel about everything, and the club and the community, and in that side of things, now that we've touched on it, what has it done for you?
Yeah, so I suppose last year, like, when I played a charity football match, and I was just like, Jesus, you're a slum. Like, you need to go do something. So I reached out to Carl Fleming. He's actually the running coach for the club. He's very, very good. So I couldn't recommend him enough. But when I started,
Mr. Fleming.
when I started, I remember my first run, and I think it was only 3 or 4K, and I was like, "Oh, what am I doing here?" Do you know? But then I was like, "Right, I'm going to keep it going now, keep it going." Then I seen the weight falling off, so it just made me feel better about myself as well. And then like that, we set up the running club, but to see the impact it has on other people, and there's people in the club that have come to us and said the impact you have now on our lives is phenomenal. And look, we're not here just to get pats on the back either. We're here because we want to help people out as well. If that's reaching goals or just getting out and clearing the head. So, like, the running club to me is probably the proudest thing I've ever done in setting it up and it being such a success that it is. Like, I can't. Just some days you're just like, oh, do I have to go up? And then you go up and you get your run done, and you're like, that was the best hour and a half of the day. Do you know what I mean? It clears your head completely. So that's just had a massive impact on myself as well. Just, you come home from work some days, you're not in the mood for anything, but then, you get out, go for a run, clear the head, and you're a brand new man again.
It's the same what they say about, I suppose, knowing that someone's waiting on you or depending on you will always get you going. Like if you just have to do it yourself, for me, I'm always first to admit it, unless Sean is waiting in the Phoenix Park for me, I'm going back to bed. But it's it is something. I said it, like, what was it in terms of, I suppose, consistency then for yourself, having set up a club? Now you have to be at so many training sessions, because a lot of people say we don't join run clubs, or you shouldn't start running in order to lose weight, even though it will eventually lead to weight loss. But in terms of consistency, what has the consistency done for you in terms of all that we've just spoke about and all that you've just touched on there?
Yeah, I suppose consistency is key. You don't set out goals. You don't reach those goals without being consistent. I suppose like that, the running club, you have to be shown to be interested yourself as well.
All right, your secret's safe with us, Mark.
No, the consistency is just key. Get out there, do it 3-4 times a week. 3 with the running club. Go out for my own run then as well. So it's just massive. Like consistency it's massive. If you stop for a week, the first run back, you'll be blown from it.
Am I right in saying the first big event then you guys had was a Dublin half in March? And if so, Carl, how was that? 'Cause I know that's the one you ran with your dad then as well. Like that feeling of having, out of your 200 members, 60 out of 200 getting tickets for that thing is a big congratulations in itself. It's so hard to get tickets. Eric struggled with that one. But how was that first event?
Oh, it was brilliant. Like just being able to go in together and like see a purple, like unreal, and like it's great because like in the club we have like say 6 different groups that cater for each level, and it's great to see everyone start in the line in the pairs of who they're running with and being able to push. Because like I pushed off with 3 lads and we were able to run. Everyone got a PB, but the best part for me was I didn't care about getting my medal. I didn't care about. Oh yeah, I wanted a PB. We all want PBs all the time. But second I finished the race, I was like, right lads, if you just want to get your photos, I'm sprinting around because I want to get back. I want to cheer on everyone else. I wanted to cheer on Mark. I wanted to cheer on me dad, and that was the best thing because again, me dad, he'd stopped running for years and he always liked running back in the day. He was told not to, but then me dad's like any Irish out lad. He loves to crack, he loves socialising, so it's good for him to have that. And being able to watch him from last year to now, the weight loss he's had, getting into running, doing the marathon, and me and me mates standing at the finish line, cheering him on with 2 of the girls in the club crossing the line together was as special. It's probably one of my best moments, like when it comes to running. Like I've done the full marathon, but when you can do it with someone within your family, it always touches home that bit better. And then being able to go for a pint of Guinness together with our medals on was special. Yeah, decided to surprise us all that evening. He came down and then I was like, what's on your neck? And like, you see something sticking out, and he had folded up the medal, and like, it's his proudest day being able to like open up the shirt and show everyone that
Deadly.
moment to see.
But that is what it's all about. And it is, look, like anything, we find it difficult to spend time. Everyone gets busy. COVID was great because we've nothing but time. And then you kind of realize we've gotten very busy again all over the last couple of years and different things. And it's a way to spend time. Great that he can be involved, especially for the creamy pints afterwards. That's partially why we do it.
He still hasn't bought us one yet.
I suppose the other thing
yeah.
on it as well is like over the years, like he's always been like on the sidelines at the GAM matches cheering you on, at my races cheering you on, and it's great to be able to flip it back over, like do an event with him, but then you can be the supporter this time and cheer them home. So it's always good being able to like just flip it around and give back. That's what made the difference of the day.
You touched on it there, but as the two of you, like 200 people is huge. It is big. And now there's clubs out there with more and less and everyone equally doing a fantastic thing. But 200 people is a big number. We know because we had about 10 listeners for the first 3 months of our podcast. So we know how hard it is to get numbers up. Have you guys taken stock of how big that is? Is it still surreal, or is it always, okay, that race is done, we're on to the next thing, the coaches are doing this, we're doing that? Have you taken stock of how big the club has become? Is it still surreal, or are we still just focusing on the next things?
It is surreal, and like probably the first few months didn't take it in because it's always what's next. It's like what race are we training for? When are we starting next Couch to 5K? When are we setting up our own event? And what the take home one for me was the Fingal 10K, because I think we had just under 100 people take part in that race. And
Whoa.
again, we wanted it. It's our hometown race, so we're like wanted to have a big push, get everyone out there, and having everyone there before the race, chatting. And I remember I walked over to the bag drop and I was just turned. So sometimes I just do my own bit of a warm up before a race just to get you ready, and like just watching everyone chatting. And to me, I was like, whoa! I was like, we've done something good here. Like you're saying, it's not just people coming up running. Like it's been great to watch people make friends, and like very close friends. And like what I always call it now, it's not a running club; it's a community family to us, because everyone has the crack, everyone supports each other, and being able to watch everyone take part in the race, and everywhere you looked, you can almost see a purple jersey. And that was for me probably my most surreal moment, to be like, right, Jesus, we've made something good here.
And now you've topped it off with being on our podcast. It's just gone from strength to strength, Carol, isn't it? And Mark, you just came along. No, I'm only joking.
And like, I think as well then, like, because at the start is myself, Mark. You can call Mark Soupy. That's what we all call him.
Soupy.
Their name's Campbell, so there you go.
Campbell. I was like, there has to be a story here.
Come on, Eric. You see the Campbell wrote there. Come on.
I was just so surprised. I was hoping there was a dirty story about Mark there.
At the start is myself, Soupy, and Carl Fleming. Between three of us, like planning each week with the runs, how many to do, what days, and then it just kept growing. Then like we'd get like on a Tuesday, you'd have an average of 70 down every Tuesday, and we were like, right, we sort of need to have a leader in each group. That's where we're like, right, we need to bring more people in. That's when like you start to realize, right, it really is taking off. So then we would have brought the main man, Fran Burke, in. He's one of the good leaders up in the club. And then having people for each group. So it's good now, like that the club kept growing, but then we kept getting more people being like, right, we'll help out. So like it's great. We have like a group of 10 to 12 of us who will plan the sessions, plan who's going to lead what groups, look towards, right, what can we plan for next? What next event are we going to do as a club, or are we going to organise and run ourselves?
After your challenge, and then you went down to Coolock Running Club with Jer Redmond, who we've had in the podcast before, very, very popular episode, and his kind of no-nonsense approach to his training and stuff is legendary from different guests we've had in the podcast. What did you take from that to build towards Swords? What are the things that stand out from your time at Coolock to go, I need to bring this sort of element over to Swords?
It's that community bond. It's like before the run, like everyone be there 15 minutes early to chat, to socialise, and then being able to, like, Ian Coolock wasn't just showing up and everyone taking off running, and if the fast lads are there, they'll take off, and if you're a bit slower, you're left behind. Everyone was in it together. So yeah, being up in Coolock, they segregated the groups based on pace, and say if Group 1 finished first, Group 2 stayed behind to cheer on, Group 1 finished first, they stayed behind to cheer on Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, and it's just constant support, constant push. People would send in their runs, send in any accolades they're achieving in life, and it's all about supporting and pushing each other. How can you be that 1% better the next day? And that to me was like, right, how can we take that and bring that back to Swords and build the exact same thing where it's having that support, where there's no one left out, no one left behind, regardless of who you are, what age you are, where you're coming from. Everyone was welcomed in, because it's like when I went up to Coolock, I only knew one lad and I was welcomed in straight away. It wasn't a case of, well, he's not from here, so what's this? And I wanted to bring the exact same approach. I was like, if you're new to the area, if you're new to running, you're going to be welcomed in. It's a judgment-free zone, and that's, I think, what works so well in the club. Like, no one's afraid to speak up, ask questions. Like, what I always say, the only stupid question is the question that wasn't asked. I was like, if you don't know something, say something, and that's what's great about the club. Like, we all joke, we all laugh, but at the same time, we'll support and push each other for everything.
I can imagine it'd be intimidating even listening to this going, Jesus, there's 200 people up there and they're all runners and I'm not a runner, you know, and just trying to set those people in. I'm sure you've had those conversations with people or wherever it is they're going like, oh, I don't know if I'm fit enough to join that run club. Would you get a lot of those kind of conversations and stuff? And how do you to bring that in? And then on top of that, do you find, you know, if people are coming in, you know, they don't know people and they're struggling, is it just bringing them in and they open up with time, or how is that approached?
I suppose a lot of it is they'll text the Instagram page and like look for information on what sort of runs we do and how long they are, and they then be like, oh, I'll join you in a few weeks. I want to get a few runs under my belt. And we're always like, no, like, this is the perfect opportunity. I was like, we all start from somewhere. And when we say we cater for everyone, we literally cater for everyone. Like, it's not just a saying just to promote. Like, that's what we do. And then what I'd always say is, like, if you want, come up 10 minutes earlier and we'll sit down and chat through everything with you, see what you're worried about. And that's what's made the difference. Like, it's allowed people like change their mind, like, right, I'll come up, I'll do that. Because even like we'll get people coming up to us even on the day, like they'll just show up there, be like, I want to join, but I don't know if I'm quick enough. And we're like, right, so that's what we just talking through what the session plan is for each group, make them feel welcome. They're like, look, no one's a born professional runner. We all start from somewhere. All of our first runs could be yesterday, could have been 10 years ago, but we all had our first run, and it's trying to like just remind people of that. And then it's great as well because like everyone in the club, like say if I'm not there, if Soupy isn't there, there's someone else to step up and explain what the session plan is, introduce them into the group, make sure everyone's feeling welcomed, and that's allowed it to work. Yeah, like you still get some people that might be afraid to come up, but you break them down eventually.
Drag them into the cult, kicking and screaming
all the time.
Mark, have you completed a marathon? Did you complete your first marathon?
No, so I'm training for Dublin now. That'll be my first. Going to be a year anniversary, I suppose, getting back into running. So it'll be a nice one to finish. But did the half marathon there in March. That was the warm day, that. But
it was a warm day.
Never forget the heat. But no, the aim now is the Dublin Marathon. That's what I'll be aiming for.
Can I ask, Mark, do you feel, two questions here. One, do you feel pressure? Because obviously you're one of the leaders of the group, and obviously you're setting goals for yourself, which is great for people to see, because they're like, well, like if Soupy can do it, I can do it. You know, it's is that pressure? And not only that, how daunting is your first marathon?
Oh, I am shitting it. Yeah, I only had this chat. I was only talking to a few of the lads only 2 weeks ago or something, and I was like, lads, I don't think I can do this. You know, when you're just having one of those weeks where you're going out running and it's like, this is getting too hard. And then the next week you're like, all right, I can do this now. You know what I mean? But it's just the support we have, you know, yeah, right, fair enough. We found the club, you could say, but it's the sport doesn't stop. People don't look at us and say, oh, they're the two lads who found the club. And we don't want that persona either. We want it to be in the community as well. So it's just continuous support from everybody. So I know the marathon block, it's not going to be easy to training, but like that, I'll always have lads in the club to fall back on. You miss a run, you can throw it into the WhatsApp. Anybody want to go out, do whatever distance you might want to do, and you're guaranteed there'll be 2 or 3 say, yeah, come on, let's go. So it helps.
What is what is the plan? So do you stick with everything that the run club is doing? Are you working off your own plan because it's a marathon, or is everyone now, or there's such a cohort training for Dublin now that everyone is just on a marathon plan? Or how are you training and how are you managing your weeks?
I'm still training with Carl Fleming. So
that's 2 million.
That's
Mr.
2
Fleming.
million now.
two references.
2 references. Don't train with him. So he puts the plan. He gives me my own personal plan as well.
That's
but,
3 million.
No money now. But so he sticks up the plan every week. So follow his plan. But generally he filters in with the running club as well. So if I'm doing a session on a Tuesday, it'll be the same session as the run club is. So I don't have to do it by myself. Okay. And then go into the run club. So he looks after me that way, I suppose.
When you cross the finish line, I know it was a hot day and I know it was a half marathon, and the build up and the training is different than it is. Obviously, there's more miles, there's more consistency. When you cross the finish line, was there a happiness moment followed by, how the fuck am I going to do twice that distance?
That was it, yeah. I'll tell you what, when I crossed the finish line, all I wanted was the nearest Jacks. But no, it was.
That's why they called you Soupy.
Jesus, Eric.
Sorry. I mean, look, you never know.
No, yeah, but I do kind of think of that still to this day. I keep going, right, I have to do that twice now. Oh, bollocks. There you go. But now, look, it should be a good day out. I think there's about 50 odd of us doing it from the running club, and there's still members looking for tickets as well. So, should be a good day out. I think from a lot of them are going to come in and support us as well. So, it'll be nice to have people cheering. Now, Dublin's meant to be a great atmosphere anyway. But just, you know, yourself. I remember the half coming down by St. Dan's out onto the coast road. And I remember turning the corner and I don't know where it came from. Next thing, wind straight into the face. I was like, no wind all day. And like that, though, just 2 of the people there from the running club, oh, go on, Soupy, and just gave you that drive then up to the coast road. Then, you know. So yeah, no, the marathon should be fun, I'd say.
Can I ask Mark again? There's a feeling that a lot of people forget. The more races we do, the more runs we do, we kind of forget about that feeling. When you crossed the finish line of the half marathon, was that your first half? Yeah. Second half?
First half. That was the furthest I'd ran.
So coming down when you turn and you've got that 800 meters to go under the bridge, 400 meters to go, you can see the crowds building, you can see the finish line, you can hear the music, you can hear the commentators. What was that feeling like for you?
Oh, it's a bit surreal, to be honest with you. It was like, I actually did this. You know, when I started running, I was expecting probably to be doing 10K. And then within kind of a few months, I was completed the half marathon. I said to myself, going out there, look, I want to, if I get just under 2, I'll be happy. So crossing it, I did 1:52, so knocked 8 minutes off. I was happy enough. But it was also a case of people looking and saying, like, right, he could do that, so why can't I? So that's pretty much my story. Like, it was surreal though, to cross that line and just be like, I actually did that. It's a sense of relief. And then even going into this marathon now, I want to just go out and enjoy the first one, experience it without really, no, we say we don't want the time. Obviously, we will be looking at trying to get a time, but it'd be more so just crossing that line, finish line, and then going out and celebrating with the club for the goals we've all reached. Some people, there's plenty of us whose first marathon it will be, so it'd be nice to enjoy a few drinks afterwards with them.
Well, we can tell you from experience, whatever you felt doing the half marathon finish line, double it, and it's probably the most addicting feeling in the world. Even crossing any marathon now, it's the same feeling. But me and Sean nearly killed each other in our first one, but the second marathon we ran was the best feeling ever. But no, it is a feeling that people forget, and probably we forget in this podcast because we've guests that come on. They've done I don't know how many million marathons and ultra marathons and Supremo marathons and marathons Sean can't pronounce. But it's amazing to have someone like yourself on to talk about this and be on that journey, because people are going, where's the people I can relate to? And you're about to go on that first marathon journey, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so I suppose people could say the normal one, not like Carl here doing Ironmans. No, that's it. You want people to relate to you. And that's what I keep saying to people. So people come up and they're like, right, want to go and just do couch 5K. And then within 8 or 10 weeks, they're doing 10Ks. They're going even further than 10Ks. And you're just like, look what you can do if you actually put your mind to it. It's amazing what the body can do. So it's just trying to get the self-belief in to your head as well. That's really it, you know.
And some days when the self-belief disappears, as long as you show up, you can hold on to somebody. You know, it's the beauty of a club and a community. Even the days when the motivation lasts about 3 hours for me, probably 3 days for most people. But if you can at least just get in the car, show up to where the training is starting, everything else will look after itself. And that's the beauty of a club and the beauty of people just showing up. Because the days the head isn't there, and it's probably one thing you've noticed with the training and what's coming up. Some days it's just not there, and some days when you show up and Carl's slagging you, Mr. Fleming, who now owes us 4 million, is giving you abuse. And all of a sudden you're running intervals and you're like, I really didn't want to do this, but I feel absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's it. You know yourself. We do our interval training on a Tuesday, and you look at the session plan and you're like, oh, this is dream. And I don't know what it is, but every time you go out to run, the sun comes out.
Are you sure in Ireland the weather in Swords is a bit different to the rest of the country?
people listening to this that are going to pay you to run intervals every day. If the sun comes out every time, you'll be running at 8 hours a day.
7 days a week.
7 days a week, yeah.
Yeah, Carl, get this 500k plan back again. They said they're doing intervals the whole time, mate.
Intervals.
100k intervals. Yeah, it's big getting the intervals trained. Though you do look at it some days and you're like, oh. But you know, you go up, you'll have a good community. And like, you know, there's 3 groups. We go into the park just across the road where we meet. There's 3 groups doing the same session, just different paces. So you're guaranteed, if you are pulling back and slacking, there's only be a group either just ahead of you or just behind you to pick you up and carry you along. So it's a massive thing, I suppose.
This question might fall flat and it might be a non-story, but I know on our end, when we rebranded the Any Given Run Day, the reason we've got this colour t-shirt is because Eric said, fuck you and your red, not doing that anymore, better running colour t-shirt. On your end, any reason for
I wasn't fucking wrong.
Any reason for the sea of purple? Are you Prince fans? Is that the GAG colours up in Swords? What's the deal?
God, no. Well, we don't touch on GAG because we're both opposite teams anyways.
Oh, okay.
No, it's more literally just Fingal. The colour of Fingal is purple. So we're like, we'll go with that, and then it stands out a bit as well. And then we got a design, so we have the Swords Castle in the bottom half of it as well. It's not as easily noticeable. But no, it's literally just came down to Fingal's purple. Let's go purple. You might think there might have been a bit more logic or thinking to it, but no, that was it.
Yeah, just like the way I did it, really, yeah. I was more of a case of if Sean said something, I'd just say the opposite, because Sean always picks horrible things.
That is legit it. The logo and all going there goes, no, not red. Why? You fucking like it. That's it. It's the only reason it's not red. You like it. It's not that.
I tell you what, I wasn't wrong. The lads love the t-shirts. Should they be getting a free one for coming on? No, but it's absolutely brilliant. And as well, to see a brand, to see, because even I know we give t-shirts to people who come on and people who came on a marathon trip, and now all of a sudden you're at a run and you see these t-shirts, you're like, oh, snap,
cool.
that's one of ours there. You can see it starting to show up in places, and it's even with our scratch map, you see Jer is sending us pictures from all over the world now. I'm having to travel more just to keep up with places he takes the picture in our t-shirts, which is a phenomenal thing, and you guys are going to continue to grow, which is absolutely amazing. You touched on yourself, Mark ratted you out, Ironman. What brought you onto that?
Again, I always get slagged because I never.
Was it a 70.3 or a full one?
Oh, that's what he's at.
Iron boy
in the dirt.
Iron boy. You're only half a man.
I'd say. No, I done the 70.3 back in April of this year, and plan is to go for the full one now in October of next year. So,
October of 26, yeah.
Yeah, October 26.
Kashkai?
No, Barcelona.
Nice.
Barcelona.
Have you done them before yourselves, or?
I'm in a different league. I only do full ones, Carl.
Eric does the full one on half the training is what Eric does
half
for
the training, 16 weeks. But in fairness, Carl, if you bought the full, you get 2 halves. It's buy one, get one free. So it's just more financially efficient to do a full one.
If you're prepared to deal with twice the suffering on half the training, it is.
Oh, it is tough. It is. I say that in jest, and some of my best pal Fish has done, I don't know how many. He needs more than fingers and toes now, I think, to talk about the full Ironmans. Our previous guest we talked about was doing 3 a year, 4 a year. Like a full Ironman is without doubt the hardest thing I've done in terms of consistency and training. Are you ready for that level of training?
Oh yeah, like I love the discipline so much, and like the sort of like the hurt locker that they almost say. It's like and like crossing the finish line makes it worth it. Like crossing the finish line in Valencia 47.3, like was every part of your body sore? Yeah, but like it was worth it to cross the line. And then I had thought about jumping straight into the full one in October this year, but I wanted to prioritise the marathon for my own time, for the club, and then go for it next year in October, and then give yourself that bit longer. Like, well, I'm going to try and do a good 10-month block instead of a 16-week job.
I'd highly recommend that.
Yep.
So I give it a full bash because, like, again, like I want to put in as best of a time as possible, and like I already have the addiction there. It's like I think for me, nothing better than like going out for the swim and like you're so fresh after. Does the sea be freezing, especially in the winter time? Yeah, but like it becomes addictive. Like running, it's like just don't get me wrong, like I was training every day of the week. I was like no rest, and it's like body was hurt, but it's like, right, what's next tomorrow? Am I on the bike? Am I on the run? Am I on the swim? And I think that's what I liked about the triathlon. It's like, it's not just the same every day. It's something different. So you have something extra to look forward to.
I have to say your patience on that, because I saw the video of you on your Instagram cross the finish line and you look comfortable. Like you're cheering up to everyone in the crowd that stands and stuff watching. They're all screaming your name and stuff. And you just crossed it. You look like you only maybe did a 10K or something. You look comfortable. Like, to go from that to go, now the body's probably screaming other things, and that's just the finish line feeling. But you see people like fall across the thing, like, and this day and age of like that Instagram post of having it all now. You see people doing races that are not ready for it, and that's not a jab at you, Eric. But
all right, they've made a career out of doing races I'm not ready for.
but to give yourself 18 months to, obviously between April and the following October, roughly 18, it is 18 months to go to put that in the back burner and focus on the marathon. I have to say fair play, because I personally don't have the patience. I've thrown myself in the races longer distance that I'm not ready for. And went, feck it, we'll try go for this goal today, and it's not there and the wheels fall off. So no question, just fair play on that.
I think so, because like I want to go for the sub 3 with the marathon this year. So it's like, I don't know, maybe the ego wants it, but it's like, because like we have some of the lads that are going for it together. So it's like, right, I'll try to do that. And then next year, same lad who had done the 70.3, we said, we're eyeing up Barca of next year, along with one or two of the other lads. They're like, right, if you give us a bit longer, I'll jump on board with you. But now we've a few of the lads looking at it, and that's sort of what's giving the patience as well. It's like having other lads there to train with as well, and then it'll make
it's a big thing.
Will it be a long 10 months? Yeah, it will be, and like there'll be tough days, but at least it'll be 10 months of having other lads to be training with, pushing each other on instead of, I don't know, like when you were training for Eric, were you always training by yourself and doing events by yourself?
Yeah, very much so. A couple of times I went for a cycle with a couple of guys I worked with when we were on the air ambulance in Athlone, but apart from that, everything was on my own. Turbo trainers, Sean would laugh at me. I'd be on the turbo trainer for 6 hours. Everyone was like, this guy is nuts. And I'm like, oh, well, it's raining out there and I don't like rain. So I'm cycling on the turbo trainer.
Well, the exact same. I always would be giving out to because I'd be up fucking 5:30 in the morning in the sitting room, turbo trainer on, Netflix on the TV, whacking it out for 2-3 hours before.
Yeah, it is tough, and I know I made jokes about it and all. I probably should have done the 70.3 and got a taste for it and moved myself up. My first 70.3 was the Lost Sheep in, I think it was end of August, I think. And then that was my first half, and then a month and a half later I was doing the full. It's probably the marathon, our first one, we didn't really know what a marathon was. My second one, standing at the start line, that was a pretty scary feeling. Don't be worried about it, Mark. It's grand. But when you stand there, you've got the sweaty palms. You're like, oh, I've never done this before, and it is a real feeling. And that's part of the excitement of the finish line as well, is because you're like, I'm doing this for 4 hours. I'm doing this for 5 hours. I'm doing this for 6 hours or under 3, whatever the case may be. An Ironman start line. Sean was there. It is the scariest, most hyped up. It is terrifyingly brilliant. It's the only way to describe it.
I can't even explain the emotions of it because, again, remember, you're watching all the TikToks in advance to give you motivation for it, but until you're actually there in person, experience it, it's hard to explain the feeling. Like, because again, you're getting the motivational speech at the start, and
your man has it down to a T now. To be fair,
Danny, who are doing it, looked at each other and literally just tears going down each
dreaming.
And then you're cheering each other on, and then when Thunderstruck comes on, like you're ready to go to war.
I was watching Eric doing that, and literally at that stage, my better half turned to me and was like, don't even fucking think about it. You can't swim, pal. Don't even. And I was like, maybe I could come back here next year and do it. Like, it is just, it's unbelievable. There's nothing like it.
You can't let Eric have one up on you.
You can have it.
I think this is one I'm going to keep. I only did it to have one up on him. He was running loads of marathons. I was like, fuck you. We'll show you.
What's the best one you've done? Or toughest one?
Marathon.
Or no, Ironman, like.
I've only done one. I'm only one better than you, but no. It's we did Cascais in Portugal, which is a fantastic, great course, and there's a good bit of climbing in it, and I'd highly recommend for anyone to do it. It's a great week in Portugal. It's a really nice course. Barcelona is very, very popular as well. But no, my goal will probably be 2026 September. I'll probably take on another Ironman. That is the limited plan now. Italy is where I'm looking at for next year. I can't bring me bike to Mozambique. It'd be robbed coming through customs. So,
I like having my feet in the ground on my end, though. He can have that.
Lads, if I can touch back again, I know we digressed there a little bit on some of the goals that people may have. And again, like-minded people, we touched into triathlon. We have a lot of triathletes come onto this podcast. If we were to go back to the basics of why do people come down and join Swords Running Club, what advice do you have for anyone who's starting their training plan? And this is to both of you because you both have very different perspectives. What advice do you give people currently training for the marathon? What advice do you give people who are listening to this thinking of starting their own run club, just not in Swords? And what advice would you give to people who may be holding back on joining a club?
I say if I was to start with, like, for people joining, like, even firstly on the end of, like, lad, girl, whoever it is, like, trying to get that bit quicker for the marathon, whether you're going for the sub 4, sub 3, like it's been good that I've been able to get 2 or 3 more lads up, and like we have a group of lads training for the sub 3 together. It's so having a core group where you're pushing each other on. They're tough sessions. We do our intervals on Tuesdays, our easy run for say on the Thursday, long run on the Saturday. Having that support to push each other on is good for that end. That it's there's some really good athletes up there, so it's good for. I always like having someone in front of me to sort of chase their tails and be like, I want to be quicker than him. Like Sean is with Eric is with Sean trying to. I want to almost like push. I want to get to their level, and it's good that we have that end right way down to our group 6, where we have guys that have just come from our couch to 5k. One of the girls recently, she started in the couch to 5k and 2 weeks ago went out and done 15k run by herself.
Brilliant.
And I think that sums up the club so well, that we have guys only starting now, working their way up to 15k, to older people, younger people of all ages pushing each other on, whether they're going for really quick PBs or whether they're only beginning. That's where I'd be like, it's so unique. It's a great club for that. And it's massive group. I understand that can be daunting. You're like, Jesus, there's 80 people here today. I don't know anyone, but you get to know them. There's guys up there, guys and girls who never knew each other, didn't know anyone in the area, that have made good friends out of it, that they're meeting up with each other outside of the run and they're doing their own runs together. From that end, that's where I always encourage people to come up. You're going to improve. If you want to use it for a social side, you have that side for it as well. There's that constant support. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I suppose as well, like, we don't, base ourselves either saying, right, you're part of the run club, we're all going to do a marathon now. We don't care if you want to come up and just use it for an hour to get out of the house. We don't give a shit if you want to do that, or if you want to train for a marathon. Like the hardest run you will do is the first one, because like that, you don't know people, you don't know your own level sometimes. So that's the hardest part. The hardest part is just jumping out of that comfort zone. It's like the marathon, I suppose, will be for me. That's the hardest part, like you said earlier, getting out of that comfort zone, taking the first step in, and you'd be just the reaction of everybody and response and how welcoming it is, and we don't, thankfully, we've never had to deal with it not being welcoming either, but that's the hardest part, definitely just getting in. Like I said, we don't really care. It's not a club where we sit down and say, right, everybody here, we're going to start doing a marathon block. Grab your runners, let's go. It's, some people use it just to get out and socialise. We don't mind.
Absolutely brilliant. And lads, I think you've touched on it, and what a lot of people is, the scariest is the first, and no different to what we've touched on many different topics from mental health to run clubs and everything, and it is always that first element that seems to be the hardest, and we wish you both the utmost success in the upcoming marathon for both of your goals. Mark, your first one, and Carl for the sub 3. Hopefully it goes your way, and we wish all in Swords Running Club the very best, and we hope many more people get involved with you, and the sea of purple continues to grow. Not as nice a t-shirt as our one, but it's a nice one.
I kind of like purple, Eric. Looks good.
It looks good. Lots of things look good. Lots of things are good. It's not great, you know what I mean? No, I'm only joking. Well, lads, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to know you. Mark, so glad you came to sleep over. You can take your toothbrush out of your bag now and get ready for bed. But it's been brilliant having you both on. It's great to get to know you. It's great to see that people like yourselves are getting an idea and seeing what they can do for people in their community and really going after it. And we're so glad that so many people have gotten involved. And a shout out to my cousin Fran, who's in the club and does a bit, and to Mr. Fleming, 5 million for getting involved with coaching as well. So it's been brilliant having you on. We wish you all the very best in the upcoming. We will be cheering you on, and we hope that all of your club are running well, from couch to 5k to marathons and more. And we wish you both the very best over the next year.
Cheers, lads. Thanks very much. I've enjoyed listening to your podcast. So I've listened to a fair few. So when it's reached out is a privilege to be able to jump on it. It's both our first podcast to be on, so wasn't too sure what to expect if either of us are going to have a brain fire or whatnot. But
now you both get to be on a wall of fame as well. Mark's CV is growing by the minute.
You shut down. I know, lads. Cheers for having us on. I don't think I'll be giving this one back a listen back on my long run, but I'll listen.
And on that note, thank you very much for listening to this week's episode of the Any Given Runday podcast. So myself, Carl, Mark, and Eric, take care.